Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday morning. It's Stephen Whiteside here from the uptrend.com. In the pre-market this morning, things are looking pretty grim. We've got stock index futures and commodities all trading lower. The Dow futures currently down 160 points. Now, we do have some economic numbers coming out at 8:30 and then 9:15 that could throw the market for a loop or cause it to turn around and move higher. These numbers are known to cause some volatility in the pre-market. Now, the only thing trading higher this morning is actually Bitcoin, which is up about $600, so holding well above the $100,000 level. Now, this is Fed week. This is the first day of the Fed meeting, and of course, we expect volatility to expand after 2 p.m. Wednesday afternoon. Let's start off today's presentation looking at the VIX, or the Fear Index, and it is back on a buy signal for the S&P 500, for the NASDAQ, and for the Russell 2000. So that's not a good sign going forward. Options traders obviously getting prepared for some downward movement in the stock market. Now, yesterday we were reminiscing about the Dow Transports, and the Dow Utilities, and once again they were all down on the day, and the Dow has been down 8 days in a row, being led lower by United Healthcare. Then we had Verizon down over 3% yesterday, and then Chevron down nearly 3% on the day. Then looking at the transports, they continued to move lower yesterday on the back of Kirby, which was down over 3%. American Airlines, which traded in the channel, and we need a close below 1638 on Tuesday to give us a sell signal for American Airlines. And then Avis Budget was down a little over 1.5%, so no trend changes for any of those. And then the utilities broke down, so we're looking to see if we could hold the November lows, and that didn't happen yesterday. We broke through those lows, being led lower by Eversource Energy, which was down over 2% on the day. So the Dow, the transports, the utilities all trading lower on Monday. Now, yesterday we looked at the currency market, and the U.S. dollar index is still on a buy signal. We've got the euro treading water, still on a sell signal, and the Canadian dollar made a new low yesterday, and it's trading lower in the pre-market on Tuesday morning. Then looking at the bond market, no change there. The 30-year bond was basically unchanged yesterday, so was the bond yields. So no major movement in the bond market. Then looking at Bitcoin, it made a new high yesterday. Our next target was 106.25, and we closed at 106.56. Next target is 112.50, and then above that, we come up with new targets. Looking at the major ETFs, they're still, of course, making higher highs, just like the Bitcoin itself. So congratulations, anyone long Bitcoin. Now, moving on to the major index ETFs, starting off with the iShares for the TSX 60. They continued to move lower yesterday, and the telecom stocks didn't really help. Rogers was down another 4.4%, while BCE was down 6.25% on Monday, and they helped pull the TSX down. Looking at the S&P 500, we're still on a buy signal here, and we were slightly higher yesterday. Looking for a close on Tuesday below $603.20 to give us a sell signal. Of course, Tesla and Broadcom and some of the other big cap tech stocks are continuing to push the S&P and the NASDAQ higher. Now, at the same time, the equal-weighted S&P 500 came down yesterday, so that's what the VIX is concerned about, not just the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. Now, the biggest loser on the S&P 500 yesterday was Supermicro, down over 8% on the day, which is better than it was in the pre-market, so we're still on a sell signal there. The Qs made a new high yesterday. They were up 1.44%. The equal-weighted NASDAQ was actually up on the day a little over 1/3%, still on a sell signal here. And then the next generation NASDAQ was unchanged. So certainly it doesn't look like anybody was selling tech stocks on Monday. What worked? Well, when we look at the sectors, it was actually the cybersecurity sector was the big winner yesterday in North America. And then we had the Magnificent Seven ETF up on the day, new all-time high for that ETF. Now, what didn't work? Well, U.S. marijuana stocks were the big losers, followed by oil and gas exploration companies, which were down over 2.5% on the day. Next up, let's take a look at the TSX Most Actives from Monday's trading action, and this is not a happy-looking list. We've got 110, and it's a technology stock, but there's 4 zeros, so not a happy list at all. Canadian Natural Resources making a new low for this move. That's also true for TC Energy and Enbridge and BCE, all making new lows yesterday. Then we've got Bitfarms, and Bitfarms is on a sell signal right now. If it generated a buy signal, I wouldn't. I'd wave it off until we start breaking out above the highs from the previous week. Then we've got a new high for BlackBerry. So congratulations, anyone who's currently long BlackBerry or short Baytech. And then we've got Kinross. Kinross, second day of a sell signal. No change there. No change in trend for Manulife. And no change in trend for Vernon, making a new low and breaking down below the late October lows. Let's finish off today's presentation taking a look at the U.S. most actives. And this list is a little different where we've got 6 10s at the moment and just 1 0. No trend changes here. We've got NVIDIA trying to hold $130. New high for Rigetti. We've got a new high for SoundHound. We've got Palantir pulling back slightly on the day, just 32 cents. There's a new high for Tesla, a new high for Broadcom on Monday. Ford, unfortunately, making a new low for this move and certainly breaking down below the early November lows. We've got Supermicro down. It ended the day down over 8%, which is off its lows and certainly higher than what it was trading at in the pre-market yesterday. There's Lucid, and we're trying to break through 273. We closed at 273 yesterday. 313 is our next target, which is in the middle of an open gap. So it'll be interesting to see what the market does next. And then we've got Intel. Intel finding support at $20. The low yesterday was $20. So that is acting as psychological support. If the $20 level breaks, 1875 is our next mathematical target. Is that a valid target? Well, move over here to the left and you'll see that it acted as support in early September. So that is certainly a valid target to the downside if Intel starts trading below $20. Okay, folks, that is all for this morning's presentation. So far, it looks like we're going to see some selling at the open. And before we get there, of course, we've got some economic numbers coming out that could change the direction of the market. You have a wonderful day. Next time you'll hear my voice is on Wednesday morning.
Thanks for tuning in until the very end of today's stock market timing educational video. If you found the content valuable, don't forget to express your support by hitting the like button, leave a comment, sharing with your friends, and subscribing to our channel for more insightful updates. Remember, in the world of stocks, timing is crucial, and following the trend can be your greatest ally. If you would like more information on how we can help you better time the stock market, please visit theuptrend.com.